It's taken its time. I'm sorry.
No, I understand.
Keeps hanging up. I don't know if we're going to get it on, Mr. Lane, or not.
Well, we certainly defer to whatever you choose, Judge.
All right, we'll just see if it goes this time. We'll go ahead and proceed. Go ahead.
Accordingly, Your Honor, with 3 DWIs in that time frame, with this being a felony, all we're asking for, we want Dad's access to resume. He has not had access since this started because we filed, this case originated out of Jack County. We appeared in Jack County. We extended the TRO, and then we did a mandatory transfer down to your court. And then after it was transferred here, the extension of the TRO expired. I then presented a new TRO, no access TRO, to Judge DeAngelis, and she granted it. And then there was some issue last time. It was extended again and set for today. We really want Dad's access to continue. We really only want 2 things. We want his overnights, because we really don't know where he lives and who he lives with, to be with the paternal grandmother's house. She is the person that drives from Wichita Falls and comes down here and does the pickup and drop off typically. And my client has a very good relationship with her. We do believe there's a necessity, because of his history of drinking and this pending case, that he does need a sober link. We believe from correspondence from opposing counsel that he does have an interlock on his vehicle. However, an interlock on his vehicle doesn't guarantee that during his periods of possession that he's actually not drinking. So I have an order for sober link here that on another case out of Parker County that I can modify. And then essentially in that case, on every periods of possession, we're doing 4 blows a day, 8 a.m., 2 p.m., 6 p.m., and 9 p.m. so that if you're drinking during that time, it would pick up. And so that way it verifies that Dad's not drinking, so he can continue this relationship with his daughter. It's a very little girl, by the way. And it provides, if you have a failure, SoberLink then sends out an email to the people that are listed in the order. And then also we would like to, in that order, we'd say that if he tests positive or has a blow positive, it stops overnights until a further hearing date. So that's where we are. I don't want to violate his fundamental constitutional right to get into all 3 DWIs, including the pending one. Respectfully to opposing counsel, she has indicated to me, well, we believe it's a weak case, etc. I don't really care about that. The burden of proof to a criminal case is completely different to the burden of proof in the best interest and protection of a child here. And so I can move very quickly, but that's all we want. SoberLink and just the overnights at his mom's house. It's my understanding he has a great relationship with his mother. And so that's where we are. I can call my client if you want me to, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Kasub, do you want to make an opening statement?
Yes, ma'am. This began on March 4th. There was an arrest. Once again, it was a bogus. The cop said he had a busted light. He didn't. They just wanted it in his truck. So he told us that it was he mentioned it. He opened that door. He wasn't in his truck, actually. He was driving. He was the designated driver for a third party. In any event, that'll be sorted out. So March 4th starts the arrest. Mother knows about it on March 4th. Spring break comes around on March 15th or so, and father has the child during spring break. So her concern was not risen to the level that she filed a petition on March 5th through 15th when she knew that he was going to have unencumbered access for 9 days. But during that 9 days, mother asks for access and wants part of those days back. He says, no, this is my limited time. I want to keep her. Mother gets angry. That's when this case is filed. So then we have a petition on April 7th. April 8th, the interlock was placed on his truck. And all the information was sent to mother's attorney in a letter on May 19th explaining that I sent over the receipt, I sent over the proof of installation, I sent over the PC affidavit for him to look at the facts of the case himself. And he presented me with this sober link order, except for the fact that if you look in his pleadings, nowhere within the amended petition, within the first petition or the first amended petition, has he requested a sober link device or in-home alcohol monitoring device. The only thing he has asked for,
I don't have to. We're a general pleading
I
state.
didn't interrupt you. And so he hasn't requested that relief. He's asked for access to be denied or it to be continuously supervised. We have proof. I can show the court that the child is in no danger in the car. The mother's affidavit states that her fear is that Ben David Hicks is going to drive a vehicle with her child in it and somehow endanger her child. And so that risk has been eliminated. He is on probation. He has terms of his probation. He has conditions on his probation. So we welcome whatever injunctions are, no drinking around the child, all the normal mutual injunctions, that he will only travel with the sober link and with the driver's license. He has a driver's license and occupational at this time. But he's having to have 2 devices and it's very expensive. The sober link device is $199 for installation and $100 a month on top of his interlock, on top of attorney's fees on 2 different cases. And I just think it's disingenuous of mother to say that she's afraid for this child. This is about control. As far as the weekends on a temporary basis, my client wants to elect. For some reason, when they did this at the AG's office, they only gave him 1 weekend a month. He wants to elect his 1st, 3rd, and 5th weekends. And for hush. And for the first, for purposes of the temporary order, he's okay with supervised at grandma's, but he can't have grandma move in with him, nor can he move in with grandma for the entire summer. So he was like his 42 days to begin. It was supposed to start June 15th. It's already June 18th. It's Father's Day weekend. This is very important to him. He has never been without Paisley this long. From the time that we had the order back in 2019 until now, he was doing every other weekend, not even 1 weekend a month for the order. And he had the child every other week last summer. So we have deviated extremely to the right on this thing because of the intervening arrest. But he is saying if on the weekends, he's happy to go to grandma's, but for 42 days, it would be just such a huge imposition on both him and grandma. This child likes to go horseback riding and they do a lot of stuff outside. He can't be going back home to blow on this device if they're out riding horses or on a day trip or something. So that's his concern, is that he will basically—
It's a handheld device. He doesn't go back home. It's not an in-home blow machine. It's not that at all. It's a handheld. It connects via a cell service. It's not that. So he can carry it around. He can do it wherever he is. He can have it with him.
All right.
As far as just real briefly, is on the summer, the parties had been agreeing prior to this, to his felony DWI arrest, that they were doing week on, week off in the summer. We're okay with that. And we're okay that, I mean, as soon as he gets it, we're not trying to ruin his Father's Day in any capacity. Dad's under a felony bond right now. So I feel sorry for him about Father's Day. But if he races out today and gets sober link, we're all about him getting his Father's Day. Absolutely. You can get this thing today, by the way, because their offices are all around the state and they can get it to you. There is one issue on the summer. My client gave him notice in a text for their Disney World trip, July 16th through the 24th. And if you do reinstate him and supervised, or however you deem it necessary, we're asking that she intervenes in the middle of that time frame so that she can go on her family trip with their child and her family down to Disney World. But Judge, I just really believe, I mean, I understand the cost issue, and I don't disagree with counsel. It's the guy's having to spend a bunch of money. He's paying for an interlock, but he doesn't have a driver's license right now, is my understanding. And I believe when I looked at it, his dates of arrest, I think he's actually going to have a 1-year death penalty on an occupational. So I don't even know if he needs an interlock, because I don't think he's entitled to get, I may be wrong on this, but I believe when you get that many in that time frame, a court lacks the jurisdiction to grant an occupational driver's license. So I don't know what's happened on that. That's not, obviously I'm not an attorney of record involved in that, but maybe he can get rid of his interlock and save himself a little money, because he's not going to be able to drive. And I don't think he has a current driver's license anyway.
He is a condition of his bond. He has to have an interlock. That's not a choice.
And I understand that. I'm just saying that if it comes,
are y'all going to do testimony, or are you just going to do it on argument?
Well, let me just add one thing in, Judge. I think we just gone argument. My client's already missed May 27th through June, whatever we are, 18th. It's a month. So week on, week off is going to deprive him of his 42 days. So he wants his consecutive from now till the end of summer. If mom is going to take her days to take the kiddo off to Disney World, that's great. But he wants the remainder of the summer to him with no week on, week off.
All right. All right. Here's what I think. I don't think you can get SoberLink today and get it in time for Father's Day. But if grandma will supervise, then I will allow the Father's Day visitation to take place. And of course, there will be no alcohol consumed or possessed while in possession of the child or within 8 hours of beginning of a period of possession. To do the continuous 42-day period, with the exception of the Disney World trip, I do want him to have SoberLink.
Will there be any kind of credit to his child support to offset that?
No.
Will mother share the cost of SoberLink, or at least the installation fee?
we won't agree to that, Your Honor.
Huh?
I'm not agreeing to that.
I'll agree to mom splitting the cost of the installation, but not the monthly fee. All right, is there anything else I need to decide today?
Are the periods of access, Your Honor, during the 42 days, is that over supervised? Is that over, not supervised by grandma, but are overnights at grandma's house?
No, as long as he has SoberLink, I'll allow it to be at his house.
And then the clarification on the SoberLink, are you ordering the 4 test times that I said earlier, 8,
Yes.
2, 6, and 9?
Yes.
Okay, I'll draft that order and send it to opposing counsel and also to the court.
One clarification, Your Honor. Father is he's requesting election of the 1st, 3rd, and 5th weekends when school starts. And I want to make sure that that was before
That's granted.
Okay. And the exchange site for trading the child, is it traditionally or halfway?
Paternal grandmother has been driving to here to pick her up. So, and just so you'll know, Judge, it was Dad that moved off from moved back. He moved further away is what I'm trying to say, up to Wichita County.
The case started in Jack. Mother moved to Burleson, then father moved.
Well,
That's
we'll do
not-
the exchange where it has been happening. So that's been at mom's house, and that's where it's going to stay for the interim.
Okay, Judge, we'll draft the temporary order. And,
We
and
asked-
just for clarification, while everybody's in front of each other, he'll be picking the child up, or his mom will be picking the child up at 6 o'clock. This particular weekend is supervised at all times by grandma.
That's
because
correct.
He doesn't have he
And his
doesn't have
42 days begins when he gets SoberLink.
I understand, Judge, except she still gets her
Disney
July
World trip.
16th, and we'll add days on the backside of that.
Right.
But there won't be the 2 weekends, correct?
No.
Okay, just
No,
making sure.
no, it wouldn't. It would just be, he gets 42 days, and I'll get the calendar out and add it to the backside of the return date.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right, y'all, that take care of everything for y'all?
Yes. Thank you.
All
ma'am.
right,
Thank you, Judge. No excused.
you may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.